And we're back in the room once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once more to the Cayman Show. Joining me today, a man who needs no introduction whatsoever. He is a rock and roll legend. He is a rock icon. He is a living legend, and he also happens to be a fellow biker. Vroom, vroom. Give it up for the one, the only Blaze Bayley. Welcome to the show, sir. It is a pleasure. How are you?
Oh, Cayman, thank you for having me on the show. I realise how intimidating it could be for you with me having all this. You could obviously, don't let it affect your self-esteem, okay? I'm lucky. Not everybody gets this.
I'll get by, mate. I'll get by. Yeah, I get it myself, man. I get it myself. You know, not everybody can look this good, right?
Yeah, that's it. You know that. So don't worry about that.
I'll keep it together, man. I'll try my best to keep it together. All right.
All right.
Excellent, mate. So yeah, you're a fellow biker here as well.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here is my album, War Within Me, right? And the artist that I use, Aki, he knows I'm a biker, and so on here, he's got my motorcycle.
Awesome. Right. What is it? What is it you ride in?
I've just got a little Triumph 900 Speedmaster with just an old 2014 one. And here I'm riding through there. So it's really cool. Look, there's me again on the motorbike. So I'm a biker, and also I'm so much a biker. I've got my motorbike on the cover of my album.
Fantastic stuff, man. Yeah. Fantastic. Hey, it don't get more biker than that, does it? You know, it doesn't get more biker than that.
And I was so lucky this year, the way that my team booked the tour was most of it was September, wasn't it? Most of the tour, August and September, and they booked it on weekends, so it was a Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or like this. And because of COVID, you know, everybody, we're trying to keep the band as separate as we could. So only 3 people in the van. The other 2 guys took the car, and I was able to take my bike. And you know what? Every single day was dry or sunny or both. Every evening was warm. I must have had 3 spots of rain on the whole tour, man. I was waking up at the hotel, walk out the hotel, there's my machine. My day starts with a ride. Oh, yeah. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, brilliant, man.
For those of us who are bikers, as I explained to one particular ex, well, why do you like your motorbike so much? Well, you like going on holiday. Getting on your bike and twisting that's a holiday for me.
It is, man, every time.
It can last 5 minutes or 500 miles. It doesn't matter. I step on that motorcycle, I'm on holiday. You who's having to wait, go on a plane, sit on a beach. Oh, forget it, man.
Yeah, man, it's instant. It's an instant thrill, it is, man. It's great, especially if you get the weather.
Yeah, the whole tour, man. I was so lucky. I had from Birmingham to Yarmouth, was it? 150, 60 mile.
Yeah, that's a trek.
Dry all the way.
Wicked, man.
Motorway and everything. Oh, it was just fantastic.
Yeah, it makes a difference, man. We rode back from, obviously I'm in South Wales myself. We rode back up from a trip recently from Ilfracombe.
Yeah.
It was a lovely, lovely run up there. But on the way back then, just in a hoodie and a cut, the wind got us, the rain got us on the way back. It wasn't such a pleasant experience. You know, they say fun in the sun, pain in the rain. And it was indeed a pain in the rain, especially after an overnight stay where you know, perhaps shouldn't have had that last double Jack Daniels. But, you know, when you rock and roll, right?
Yeah, for me, an important part of the tour is checking the weather app.
Definitely, especially if you're on 2 wheels. Yeah.
I've got the world one, and it's really accurate. And you go, okay, what's it going to do? Dry, rain in the evening, whatever. And I can dress accordingly.
That's the way, man.
But
Definitely.
it's so nice when you don't have to dress up, man. For those of us, for the idiots who, oh, they should know better if they ever have an accident. Yeah, I know. I had an accident, so I'm probably a bigger idiot. But this is it. It's part of the feeling is being in the wind. Yeah, it's as dangerous as hell. I would advise anybody that's thinking about taking up motorcycling, don't.
Yeah.
It's too dangerous. Don't do it. It's too dangerous. But those of us who are bikers, then man, wearing a pair of jeans and a t-shirt and riding along in warm weather, the government would ban it.
Totally. I'm surprised they haven't, man.
Yeah, they would ban it, man, because I think that is a secret cure for COVID, right? And if they know about everybody on motorbikes has been on COVID.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
Be gone. But that's it. They don't make quality motorcycles in China, and that's why they've made. That's why we've got that.
Say no more, right? Say no more.
Yeah, so it's good. I was riding to every show on the first part, not this part, because I had COVID. It'd be stupid to risk catching a cold or pneumonia or something.
Yeah.
But the first part of the tour, every day riding there, and then just getting to warm up, each show, everybody being respectful about social distance and able to sing really well each day. The new album, War Within Me, has been out since April, and loads of fans, of course, my hardcore fans, know the new songs.
Fantastic stuff. So they're singing along as well.
Man, just fantastic.
Great feeling, man.
And what is incredible is I've got, I think, 11 or 12 studio albums now, as well as 5 albums, I think, 5 studio albums with Wolfsbane, 2 with Maiden. A lot of my hardcore fans who followed me from the beginning and supported me are saying that my new album, War Within Me, is possibly my best ever album.
That's a compliment, man, isn't it? Totally.
Oh, man, I've been going that long that you would think people would be going, oh, well, it's just another Blaze Bayley album.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's just, he's going through the motions. But people are saying that this is possibly my best album. And at this stage in my career, it feels good, man.
That's a massive compliment and a massive pat on the back for yourself,
And we produced the album ourselves as well. The co-producer is Chris Appleton, who's also my co-writer on the album. And it's another level as an artist. We've got our songs. Almost every song we worked out on my old acoustic guitar with rhythm and everything. It had to work on that guitar.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it did not get onto the whiteboard as a potential album song, apart from one song. And we went through that and we refined everything. Then as we start putting the drum tracks together and all of this and sending stuff off to the drummer, right, we want this kind of groove and all of that and the instrumentals. But then when you get to your mixing as a producer, you've had in mind your mix and the way that you want to engage with your listener right back in the writing stage. And you've been thinking, when this word comes, I'll just tweak it up there. When we have this melody comes, that will go behind there. So you get up to your mix it and all of this. So it's another level of expression that you can go, right, I will guide my listener on this journey by taking their attention and getting them to focus on this, on this, on this, on this. until they come to a place where I want them to go, so that is the message of the song that they get. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of details. It's not just a magnifying glass. It's not even a microscope. It's a pig in electric microscope, electron, and you're trying to put particles together. You know, that's how it feels. And arguing about it. No, it should be this. No, it should be that. You're talking about something that's less than a second long.
Crazy, isn't it?
Or quieter. You know, how is that going to make a difference? But it does to you. You know, no, it's got to be there. Well, I think it's loud enough. I don't.
Crank it up, please. Crank it up.
It's mad. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. And I don't, you know, I am a complete arsehole when it comes to working with me, man. And Chris Appleton, you know, I'm just lucky that guns are against the law in this country, because if it was easy to get guns and they were legal, he would have shot me by now. You know, I'm such a wanker when it comes to no, I want it like that. Well, do you think we can? No, I don't. I want it, and then he'll come back at me at somebody. He'll go, yeah, it's good, but we need a chorus. And I go, what are you talking about? We need a chorus. It's got a chorus. So what he said? Well, you might think it's a good chorus, but if you listen to it, it's not good at all. It's like a bridge section. I'm like, what?
Red rag to a bull.
So there I am. I'm thinking the most difficult thing, always a bleeding chorus. I went, oh no, and I have to give way to, and then I'm racking my brain and going round in circles. Well, what's the chorus? What do I have as a chorus then? You know, because basically the chorus is the top of the mountain. You're headed up there. Well, if you haven't got the chorus, there's no top to the mountain. You're just stuck, man. And the song is never finished. Ah! Oh, man. But anyway, we got through it. We're both alive. Of course,
no one's been shot.
Good that he's in Manchester and I'm in Birmingham, that we have that distance.
Bit of separation space for you both.
It's not just a social distance, it's a safe distance for us.
A sanity distance, if you will, yeah.
Got it. It's sanity distance. And it's just worked well, man. All of that, you send it off for your mastering, never listen to it again until it comes back. And, you know, 3 months later, it's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, fans are starting to listen to it. And you haven't listened to it for 2 or 3 months, and you go, oh, let me know. Did we do that? It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it? Yeah.
And that's where the real joy, when you've forgotten the details.
Yeah.
When you've forgotten, and they literally are like tiny bits. It's less than a second where you're talking about, you know, 100th of a second, half a second in the music, a breath, and on the guitar, or a ink, you know, you've sorted all this out, and then you go back, you forgot all of that, and you hear the song complete, and wow.
Magical.
You know, so I'm just so lucky that the people that support me think that they've really enjoyed it and thought it was a good album. You know, when we sat down, we'd come back from South America. There was no COVID there. You come to Paris to get the connecting flight, and there's COVID everywhere, masks, all of that business. And yeah, this is serious. We did Burfest, and it was the last, I think it was one of the last live shows in Europe that we did in March of that year. It was sold out, fantastic. It was my Iron Maiden anniversary set list. We absolutely stormed it. And then after that, every single thing that was planned was cancelled or postponed, every live thing. But we were always going to record. write and record in that time. So what happened was, oh, right, this has gone. This festival's gone. Oh, well, actually, that gives us an extra 3 days because it's travel there, get back, recover 3-4 days. So we can now choose to take that time away and come back fresh, or we can keep working on problem parts and big sections that we need to sort out. And that's what we did. We did it in chunks of 15 days, 15 days. Then we'll quarantine, then 15 days apart, 15 days back, then send in the sounds. And at the beginning, it was, this is a challenge now for humanity.
Proper ball ache.
This is a challenge for humanity. And I think of the times, it was always a free meet and greet at my shows before this, signed for everybody, no matter if it's 500 or 50. Always sign for everybody we could. And I thought of the amazing stories my fans told me, how they said, your music's got me through this, this lyric meant this, or, this song from Iron Maiden, or 2 a.m. meant a lot to me, and different things. And I thought, people have been waiting 2 years for the new Blaze Bayley album. It's got to be good, man. And more than that, it has to be positive, not just good. This has to be positive. And Chris and I, before we start an album, we won't say it's got to be ... but we'll go, what would we like to finish up with? And it was, we'd like to finish up with something that has a lot of energy, but the message essentially is positive, and that's all the way through. So every time we've got a lyric and a chord and a rhythm and a melody, is that uplifting? Does that leave us in a good place? Is it dragging us down? Is it making us feel too introspective? No, we want this journey to go, actually, as crap as things are, I'm going to get through it. And that's the message that we wanted to have. So as we're going through, each time I'm not sure that's the best lyric for that bit, or even down to, that's not the right vowel sound for that particular section. And that chord is not going to give that a lift. So people aren't going to go, yeah, they're going to go, yeah, or oh. So each one we wanted it to be, yeah, come on, have a go. Keep it on. If you think you can take me, COVID.
Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough.
Wrong. I'm metal. You can't get me. So, and that was it all of the way through. And what was really, really good is even without my fans knowing that so many people picked up on it, that said, oh, it feels like a really positive record. It's a positive experience. And that's what I wanted. You put on War Within Me, and at the end of it, you feel better than you did before it started. And as simple as that sounds, that was the details that we went into on every little section. Sometimes we were lucky, things just came together, it felt
just
great.
clicked, like, yeah.
Yeah, you know what it's like. It comes together, you think, oh, brilliant. It's 15 minutes and you go, that can't be it. It is, and then you're there and it's day 2. What are you talking about? I need a chorus. It's that's it. We just kept pursuing it, and it was constantly the fans that I see a lot that come to my shows again and again, and I've made friends with some of them. I just thought, this has got to be, man, for my fans. They have to have a record. They've been waiting 2 years. It's got to be a record that they go, oh, I've got my Blaze Bayley album and it's good. Oh,
a 200 beats per minute job, yeah, on the old ticker. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do, man. And that sounds pretentious. I know it does, but that is where I was. My fans have got me through some of the worst times of my life. Come on, what's your next record? Can't wait to hear what you do and stuff like that. And they've come to see me. And man, I've been up and down, and you know, quality hasn't always been the best, but people have stuck with me. And I really wanted to pay that back with this album and go, you know what? It's time now. I've got to raise my game and I've got to do the absolute best for my fans that have helped me through thick and thin. And I'm just lucky as we've gone on tour. We haven't been able to do any meet and greets because of the situation.
Because of the COVID, yeah.
The comments that we've had from people that have listened on Spotify, that have bought the album, bought the vinyl, you know, on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, people have just been, no, I like it. It's good. You know, it means something to me, and really, really cool, man. So I'm very, very lucky and
Good,
very
man.
grateful to have
Definitely serving its purpose, and in that respect, please. Yeah, definitely serving its purpose. Especially, they say the proof is in the pudding, and when people are singing tracks off that album back to you when you're out gigging and whatnot, there's your pudding.
Yeah, it's just been brilliant, man. And the only song that we didn't do on the acoustic, it was about the last session. I said to Chris, is there anything else we've got now? Is there anything left to work on? And he said, well, I've got this idea that I did at the end of the last sessions for the Redemption of William Black album, the end of my trilogy. And he said he just stayed up one night. He had this idea. He put some basic drums and things on it, and it was a complete thing. And I said, all right, then, well, just leave it with me. And I was lucky. I had 2 weeks before the next thing. And I kept listening to it, and I kept listening to it. And I was looking through some of the notes I'd made, got little things about staying positive, what to say to yourself, internal dialogue to keep yourself going, to not let the world crush you. And, you know, and I looked at that and I started thinking, and things started to go together, bang, and it was War Within Me. You know, about me, I have mental health problems, I suffer from depression, and you've got to try and stay away from that in my life. You look, what are the triggers? What should I be doing, eating, and all of that? And that was it. And pretty soon I had the whole thing together, and I sent him the demo of the vocal, and he's like, wow, I can't believe it. You know, and it's a technique that Ian Gillan uses from Deep Purple. I've done it occasionally before, and what Gillan does in a lot of things, he'll get the finished arrangement, and then he will sit down and write the lyrics.
Right, okay, yeah.
To that, which, I mean, he's had some absolutely phenomenal lyrics in his career, Ian Gillan. And the War Within Me lyric came, and then it's, what do we call the album? I said, well, here it's War Within Me, isn't it? And then it's, right, how do we start the album? Will it be like a build-up or this? And I, you know, and after we tried a few things, I said, you know what? No, this is just simple and it's classic. And that means we start with the guitar, and that's it. The riff. Gun, 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 gun. No, nothing else. No keyboards, no wind, no twinkles, nothing. And it starts. And I said, it starts loud. And that was a big argument on the mixing.
Yeah, so it seems we keep coming back to that.
He's a guitarist. And I'm going, Chris has got to start louder than that, mate. And he's going, well, I think he's, I said, well, I'm telling you now, it's not. It's not loud enough. This is stand up and shout like Ronnie James Dio. This is a whole lot of Rosie. This is massive. And anyway, we argued, and in the end, he gave in. And you listen to the beginning of the album.
Good old persistence, right?
And it goes, go, 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 and then, and it's still going, go, 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 go. Before the vocal, oh man, so proud of it. But that was that was one where I was glad, you know, even with a high-powered rifle, he wouldn't be able to get into Manchester.
Yeah, too many twists and turns along the way.
Yeah. And, you know, it'd be following the magic bullet would be behind a lot of lorries on the M6. So I was,
He's got no chance, man. Plenty of shields in the way as well, isn't there? You know. So,
so it went really, really well. It was tough in that it was a lot of work and struggle, and there were some great bits, and there were some moments of absolute joy when we came up with parts, and you're looking at each other going, is that really good?
What a feeling.
It is. Aha! And then you come back next week, listen to the demos, and you go, we've never done that. You know, oh, it's brilliant. And you listen to the next song, and you go, yeah, we've definitely done that. It's fucking awful.
Oh, no.
Right? That's what we'll be working on this week. And that was it. And through a lot of it, my experience with Iron Maiden and working closely with Steve Harris, the lessons that I learned there about getting the idea from here onto the recording, that all came. And, you know, when I was in Maiden, I loved having two guitars. And what we did on War Within Me, then I had two main guitars. I said, let's kick two. So we had really beautiful guitar figures and melodies, and we had big E chords, big power chords.
Big thrash, yeah.
Said, right, let that go. He said, no. I said, no, just let it go. And just let it go, man. And be 14 again. And feel, you know, when you hear your first electric guitar and you become seduced by Satan himself, who's got the electric guitar, he's going, yeah, but when you hear my electric guitar, I think, oh, no, I'm a heavy metal fan. Oh, and there's no way back from that. So we were doing that. And then, you know, out of the bits, this has got to be a little bit of harmony guitar on this melody, hasn't it? And we go, oh, yeah, man. And that was it. So if you listen to the War Within Me album, you can hear that influence I had from those, 25 years ago, but those two albums with Iron Maiden, what I learned there, you know, we did Man on the Edge together, a top 10 hit in the rock charts all around the world, Future Real, we did Virus together, you know, I'm performing on Klansman, Sign of the Cross, and so many other great songs. All of that experience came in to this album. And then you can hear a little bit, perhaps, of my Wolfsbane in the urgency of, come on, get on with it. Get on with it. You know, I'm bored. We can't have that twat. I'm bored. It's another bit now. And that was it. And I think all of that came together. And another thing was, my manager said to me at the end of my trilogy, the Infinite Entanglement trilogy, he said, right, when can I expect your next studio album? And I thought about it and I said, in 2 years. He goes, what? I said, yeah. Because we've just made 3 albums in 3 years of absolutely the best quality we can. We've killed ourselves to do it, using all our creativity, all our energy to get the batteries charged again and feel like writing a song. I said, that's going to be 2 years. He said, oh, right then, we better come up with a plan. And so, it's incredible to have a manager that will support you from an artistic point of view and musically. And it's like, well, what are we going to do? Okay, well, we've got 10th Dimension, which we can bring out on vinyl. We've got Blood and Belief that we can do again, bring that out on vinyl and with new artwork. I wasn't happy with the artwork from it for the first time, and all of this. We can make a live album here, do that, and he's found a way to get me over those 2 years and get me to a place where, I felt I really wanted to make an album, and I had the energy to make something good and put energy into the record and keep going. And I think if I hadn't had that support from my manager, I think it would have been a struggle, really, to come up with this, for it to be as good as it was. And then, of course, my incredible fans, they say, right, will you please pre-order the album? They'll buy it. They don't say, well, is it going to be good? What's it going to be about? They just go, yeah, Blaze album, done.
Loyal to the death, right?
Yeah, that's it. And then I can make an album. And then in my mind, I'm like, I want this album, these songs, to be worthy of these incredible fans that support me, so that they can go, hand on heart, yeah, it's my favorite artist, it's my favorite singer, and he's done it again.
So they drive you in a sense then as well, yeah?
Absolutely. Because I think I've met so many of my fans in a free meet and greet. I mean, in some places, the meet and greet has taken longer than the gig.
Yeah, being there, yeah.
I've had to sign for, not had to is the wrong word, but I have stayed and signed to the last person, and that's been 400 people or 350 people. It's so, but I've had these arguments with promoters constantly, with different ones. People they want the show to run as late as possible, then close the bar, everybody out. And I'm saying, well, no, a Blaze Bayley show includes a minimum of 1 hour of meet and greet after the show. And it's just, for some people, they get it. And other people, they don't, because they've got no respect for fans.
Or they won't.
Yeah. But, we've just managed to do it. And those stories that people say, oh, I've got a song called 2 a.m., which is on the X Factor album with Maiden. And people say, some people say that means the world to me, that song. It really speaks to me. And then other people say, oh, Como Estas means this, from my second album, from the Virtual 11 album. And then people like my Silicon Messiah album, they've got, what it's like. People have particular songs that it catches you. I'm not a genius guru songwriter by any stretch, but as a music fan, a song will catch me, and then it'll always take me back to that moment. Sometimes that won't be a pleasant moment, and that song will take on perhaps more meaning than the writer originally intended. But that's it. It's a spiritual thing for all of us that love music. I think it's spiritual. Those songs catch you. And for me, it's very humbling that my song, my work, has been there at a time when someone was going through a challenge or difficulty, and it's my music that's helped them. It just by coincidence, without being pretentious at all, I'm just another singer in a band, but I find it very humbling when people say it was your music, your song, your lyric that got me through this tough situation, or it's your music that I take to the gym with me.
Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah.
Music that I take running with me. Man, it's tiny. Perhaps to other people wouldn't mean anything, but to me, it's like, yes, yeah. That my fan chose me. They chose to take me running. They took me in their car. They put the CD in the car that lives in there every drive, backwards and forwards to work. They're listening. I'm there with them. And some people, of course, they're taking me in their bedrooms.
No.
Oh, yeah. I'm in the bedroom with my fan. They're listening. Oh, man, it's incredible. Really. It's a privilege. That's the way I feel about it a lot of time. And when we were coming up with the album, I was thinking, people are going to be putting their headphones on. I'm going to be in their head. What am I going to say when I get there? What am I going to do? How am I going to make that person feel better? What benefit am I going to be to them when I'm in their head, inside their head? What am I going to say? And that was a big inspiration on the lyrics and the vocal performance and on the instrumental and the guitar on the album, the lead guitar and the melodies, the things that Chris Appleton has done and the way that he's played these melodies so carefully and avoiding too many picks.
Yeah.
So he struck the note and he's got this thing. And so you've got these beautiful electric guitar melodies without a lot of it's just going, it's fingers like and it's got it, and you hear this beautiful it's incredible. And that's the detail. We're in somebody's head, we're in somebody's car, we're in somebody's bedroom, we're in somebody's house. What are you going to say in these intimate moments? I feel a certain degree of responsibility. And I'm glad, really, because it has really inspired me to make an album, which it's been a surprise. It's something that's a real joy to me because my fans have got so much out of it.
Definitely, man. And that's a super deep analogy as well, Blaze, right? But it's a super accurate one as well, I think. Looking at it from the other side of the fence, a lot of people just take music for granted, don't they? They just play it and they'd be like, oh, yeah, I love this. And then, like you say, they remember, I don't know, times and places and where they were, what they were doing, who they with, who they got together with, who they broke up with, shit like that, But yeah, it's good to see the other side of the fence where you as the writer, the artist, the performer are coming from as well. It's like, right, what do you want? What message do you want to send, So, yeah, that's good, man. That's good.
Well, it is that thing, isn't it? There's the song that will always take you back to that favorite ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
And you don't want that song to play when you're out with your regular partner, be they man, woman, or whatever. And you're like, oh, I hope it's come on.
There it is again.
Are you all right, love? Yeah, I'm fine. Oh,
do you want to drink, love? Just go to the bar.
Right.
It happens.
Yeah.
Can we take a little step back in time down the memory lane, Blaze, if that's all right then? Just to check in with you on how, where, when, and why, I guess, you first got into music or first discovered yourself as a singer. Were you always dabbling with singing back in the day, in your teen days or whatnot? Or?
Well, yeah, I always liked singing. I'm not a natural singer. I'm not like, you people in Wales who were born with great voices at all. I'm someone who wanted to be a singer, so I learned to sing. I think a possible advantage that I had was as a child, it was a single mom. We lived in a caravan with no running water and an outside loo, chemical toilet, all of that. We didn't have a TV, but we had the radio, and my mum always had a record player of some description. and she had a very broad taste in music. So we listened to the radio, I'd read a lot. So my imagination, and I think I never felt poor because I never felt unhappy.
Mm.
And I think that's it. You go to other people's houses, and as a kid, you just accept, oh, they've got a big house, or you just accept people. I think perhaps now looking back, there was something really healthy about not having a TV in those early years, because one of the things that I have, my greatest asset and sometimes a curse, is my imagination and how it fires and where I go. There's just absolutely, oh, bang, bang, bang. And I've got a huge science fiction story and 3 albums out of it. Oh, I've got a concept album about time travel and all that. Bang, 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 all different things. Perhaps a part of that is because just in those few years between the age of 5 and 9, we never had a telly. And I think, listening to music, listening to the radio and things like that, reading a lot, I think that maybe was really good for my imagination. My grandmother, who looked after me when my mum was at work, then she liked the big singers, and she was a huge fan of Mario Lanza. It was an old tenor that became famous, and he made some movies as well. Absolute heartthrob of people my grandmother's age at that time, and some of the big singers of the day, like Tom Jones and people like this. So that was always kind of in the background there, all of these different things. And then as I'm coming into my teens, the Sex Pistols arrive, punk arrives, and this incredible thing going back, I feel privileged musically and in my career to, at that time when my taste in music was developing, when I was finding music, then there was Iron Maiden, Motorhead, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, and all of these people could get on the radio on a Sunday in the top 40 rundown. So even if they were never able to be played in the week, if the DJs hated them, on a Sunday, they had to be played on the radio. And there were these great moments where it'd be, Maiden's on the radio, guys, or Motorhead.
Yeah. Press record.
Yeah, Priest is on the radio. Oh, man, just wonderful time. So what an interesting time. You've got the Sex Pistols, the Damned, or the Clash, all of these bands. You've got Maiden, Priest, Kiss, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, then all of the new wave of punk bands and everything. All of that's going on. And I'm slowly drawn, as a 14-year-old, drawn towards rock and metal music, as so many of us are. And as time goes on, I listen to more and I get my own records. And aged 19, I'm working in a hotel, night shifts, as a night porter. And I had to check in all the guests late, mop, clean the toilet. Sometimes I'm full of sick or whatever. Get the hotel ready for the next morning and the next day. And the Hoover, and I'd often find myself singing over the Hoover. And there was a ballroom, just a small, regular sized ballroom, nothing really big, baby grand piano on this little tiny stage there. And I'd have a plink away. It was never locked. I'd have a plink away on that. and I'd listen to what then it was cassette tapes, which kind of, if you remember them, was one album per side. So basically,
That's right. Were they the C90s or something? Were
C90,
they? Yeah.
you'd record yourself your own albums or swap tapes with friends, and so you could have Peace of Mind and Number of the Beast on one tape. And it was the same with a lot of things. You know, you could have Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules from Black Sabbath on one tape, and a lot of things. Van Halen, you could have 1984 and the first one. And I would have hours. You know, it was an 11-hour shift at that time, and you'd have hours in the night where you could listen to stuff while I was work. So that was really where I got into music, and then messing about on the piano and start to get interested in writing lyrics. I wrote my first couple of songs on that piano just by that's there, and like that. And
that was before you'd ever been in a band as well, yeah?
Oh man, that's just learning, just starting to think about music and getting into rock and metal, listening to everything I possibly could. And in those days, I worked in Sutton Coldfield, and Birmingham Odeon was the main venue for every band. And it was only about, I didn't know this at the time, it seemed huge to me. It's only about 1,500 capacity. And if you think about it now, listen to this: Bon Jovi, Iron Maiden, Metallica, they all played there twice over the years, because metal was in theaters. There wasn't stadiums. It wasn't all, massive festivals. It was metal was in theater. And when people toured, Ozzy Osbourne played Birmingham Odeon, right, to 12 to 1,500 people, not 12 to 15,000.
Crazy, isn't it?
You know, it's another world, man. You think about how close we were. White Snake, every big name of that era in the 80s, before things went massive, then, man, I saw every show. I would leave work 9 o'clock in the morning, go into Birmingham, have a McDonald's, go up to Birmingham Odeon. Right, what's on? Accept, get a ticket for that. Oh, Ozzy, get a ticket for that. Iron Maiden, get it. Iron Maiden's added another night. Brilliant. So it was Bon Jovi. Seen Bon Jovi, man. We went wet with 1,200 people. You couldn't see Bon Jovi now for the 1,200 people unless it was £1,000 a ticket. It's an incredible time. And I saw Ronnie James Dio, and it was his first solo album, Holy Diver, and he was doing songs from Holy Diver and songs from Black Sabbath years and a bit from his Rainbow time, and he sang Children of the Sea. It's a very gentle start. On the misty mornings in the edge of time, reaching for the stars we bind the sky. Oh, that's over. And man, I was captivated. I was hypnotized. There was a bolt of lightning. Something happened to me in that moment. And I had to go to work after. I went back to my night shift. I'm hoovering the hotel, and you know what? I'm going, what am I going to be doing in 5 years? Am I still going to be hoovering this bleeding hotel and mopping up sick, or what? And this question came, well, if I could do anything that I wanted, what would I do? And the answer, it was just as simple as, I'd be exactly like Ronnie James Dio. I'd be in a rock band, and I'd tour the world being a singer. And then this is the real game changer. The next thing was, well, why can't I do that? And I couldn't think of a reason why I couldn't do it. And I think that must have been where I was really lucky. That must have been where, however my parents were, that they gave me that self-esteem and value to answer that question, why can't I do it? And that was the moment that I changed, and I was no longer a night porter and cleaning a hotel. From that moment, I was a rock singer trying to make it, and I worked in a hotel cleaning and fixing the hotel. Well, that was it, man. It suddenly went, whoop. And, you know, a couple of weeks later, Tamworth Herald was the local paper. I lived in Tamworth with my parents at the time, and we had this wonderful music page in the local paper by a man called Sam Holiday. National bands and all of the local bands that, you know, that played little gigs around the town were all mentioned in that music box section. And couple of lines at the bottom of the music page: heavy metal singer required, no experience necessary.
It's a sign.
Hello, hello, right? And it was Jace Edwards and Jeff Haitley. They were at school together, and they were starting a band. They wanted to get a band together, and I think I was the only guy that auditioned for them. And I mean, it was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. But I think I had the advantage of being the only one that actually wanted to do it. And I got the call, yeah. And then Jeff came up with the name Wolfsbane.
I was going to say that was Wolfsbane, was it? Yeah.
We were on our way, man. And we were so dreadful that we couldn't play covers because everybody would know how crap we were. So we came up there, right, let's do original material. And when we've got 10 songs, we can do a gig. And that was it. And that's how we started off. And it was at the back of Jeff's garage.
Brilliant.
And we had 6-watt amps that you could get from Woolworths at the time, like this, literally this big, put on top of the sideboard to try and make them sound louder.
Yeah.
No, it's just mad. No microphone, just shouting, ah, ah, like this, man.
You don't need a microphone.
Horrendous, absolutely horrendous. I thought I sounded like Ronnie James Dio. I actually sounded like a bullet that had been punched in the butt. You know, I sounded like a donkey about to die. So, but that's it. I'm not a naturally talented singer. I learned to sing as gradually, you know, we learned better, we improved, we stuck together. I went to singing lessons, I had different singing coaches. I'd come back, I'd work on my technique, you know, work on different things. We started writing our songs together and all of that, you know, and the enthusiasm that we had at that time was absolutely incredible. I think it's the same for anybody that has a band, whether it's a band for fun, it's a blues band, it's a cover band, whatever. I think we all share that enthusiasm, because when a bunch of friends get together and jam any old crap, it's a great feeling.
Brilliant, yeah. Brilliant.
It's a great, you can't beat it. You don't have to be good. And that's the thing I think that gets lost along the way, is you don't have to be good. You don't have to be professional. You just have to be with your mates.
Enjoying the moment.
Yeah, maybe go to an open mic night or do a gig in your garage. Whatever. It doesn't matter, man. It's about that feeling. And I think that's what we still had in Wolfsbane. That it was just the sheer joy of making a lot of noise in the same room. Vaguely, you know, we started at the same time, we finished at the same time, and a lot of times we were actually in time and in tune during the song. So, you know, that was it. And it was incredible times, really. And that I think that's a great start. I was so lucky because in Tamworth at that time there were 20 local bands from horrible pop to new romantic to heavy metal to rock and progressive, all of that. And all of those bands would do a gig together. And it's like, what you doing Saturday? Oh, can you bring your drum kit and we'll bring our guitar amp? And you'd be on with somebody absolutely opposite style of music, but you were all in bands from Tamworth or Lichfield, you know. So it was an incredible time.
Brilliant.
And that was how I started. And you know what? I love to sing. And that's I think that's the thing that's really got me through. I was very lucky to have a great start, a lot of wonderful support, but I love to sing. And when my voice is clear and feels good, then I just love to sing. And, you know, on the days when I've had a good warm up and things are just right, even the weather is right and it's a bit of high pressure, there's a bit more oxygen in the air, and I'm on stage and the sound is good, man, it's an incredible feeling. I love to sing.
Your happy place.
I think that sustained me, and I love music, and I don't think you can keep going this long if you don't love music, if you don't have the joy, if you forget the part of your heart that is still 14 and excited about hearing your first guitar solos, your first power chords, your first vocals, and go, yeah. If you haven't got that, I don't think you're going to last. I'm lucky I still have that. Chris Appleton, who I worked with, still remembers why he got into guitar, what it is, was, you know, still exciting. You're not trying to forget that time when you're 14. You're trying to give that amount of excitement to fans and remind them and go, hey, remember when everything was exciting and you didn't have any bills whatsoever?
Yeah, nothing to worry about at all.
Before you had to be grown up.
Yeah, and responsible.
Yeah, when the most important thing was, what is your favourite band? I go, clang! Man, that little bit of 14-year-old is still there. And I think that's why I've managed to keep going. But Wolfsbane, we wanted to be the biggest band in Tamworth. And we wanted to be the most outrageous band in Tamworth. And we accomplished that.
I was going to say, and you accomplished both. Was it initially 10 years? Was it 84 to 94-ish?
Yeah, it was a great time for us. You know, first gigs, I think it was the back end of 83. And then 84 was our main year. Our first gig was our first proper gig. The first gig we booked was Tamworth Rock Festival, which was a festival put on by the bands themselves. Everybody put 20 quid in, and we hired a trailer and a PA and did it in the Tamworth Castle grounds, all off our own back. But our first proper headline gig was in Tamworth at the Arts Centre, 100 people, you know, sold out. Our first gig, family, friends, people from school, and all of that. It was just fantastic, man. Absolutely fantastic start. Because I was working in the hotel, they had DJs for like wedding functions and stuff. And I said to one of the DJs I'd made friends with, I said, have you got a smoke machine? He said, yeah. I said, could I borrow it on Thursday? I think it was a Thursday.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, all right. Yeah, just bring it back on this day. He goes, no problem. So anyway, there we are. It's a very small, it's a tiny little theatre that's 100 seats. That's it. So you can imagine how small it is. Little square room. And the guy who worked there, Jed, I think his name was, we had all the lights were white or red. And we worked out, he changed all the lights as white or red theatre lighting. And then there was a curtain that came across the front of the stage, and I goes, right, I'll turn the smoke machine on. Got the smoke machine on. Bleeding hell, man. Unbelievable. Right. In 5 seconds, I kid you not, you couldn't see anything. Right. And it was time to start. And somebody rolled the curtain on the thing to open the curtains. Curtain open, just smoke filled the room.
Somebody phoned the fire service.
No one could. There was no smoke alarm. No, nothing. Smoke filled the room. 100 people are sitting there. What the hell's going on? And we go, man on. You know, all this. It was absolutely incredible. So by the second song, the smoke had cleared. I managed to turn the shit off.
Thank the good Lord.
And it was smoke. It was smoke and red light.
Awesome.
And now, years later, we've had a Wolfsbane reunion after 17 years.
Yeah, 2007, right?
Yeah, and Jeff Hately came up with an idea. He said, I've had an idea for a song. And he started playing it and got the lyric he had a bit of the lyric together and the chorus. And it was smoke and red light. He said, it's about that first gig. And so years later, we've got a song about that first gig called Smoke and Red Light. And
right, so it's about that moment, yeah?
About that moment. And it's written by Jeff Hately, and I've done part of the lyrics on it as well. It's the true story of how Wolfsbane formed and our first gig. I think it's on our Wolfsbane Saves the World album.
Yeah, fantastic.
We're doing a new album right now. We've managed to find time, and we were all double jabbed. We were able to be in the studio with Jace Edwards, and we've come up with mostly the rest of the guys in the band to come up with this incredible music and some great ideas, and it sounds more Wolfsbane than Wolfsbane.
Go figure.
I know, it's just mad. And we're listening to it. You know, I get really down, man. I suffer with my mental health. I get depressed. Really, really low. And things that have happened in my life in the last few months have got me right down. And Jace sends over a rough mix of the new songs, and he goes, have a listen to this and tell me if anything stands out. All right. I'll put it on. I'm like, wow! Oh, yeah! No way to feel depressed or miserable when I was listening to the new Wolfsbane songs.
Amazing.
Like, oh, man, I can't wait. It's going to be out, we hope, if everything goes well, in June next year.
Excellent. That was my next question.
A couple of shows with it. Man, I can't wait for fans to hear it. Jace done an incredible job. At the guitar, I don't know. You know, I think part of the problem where people think there's life on other planets and that maybe there are space aliens walking around on Earth is because Jace Edwards' guitar has been trapped in some kind of time loop and been played back in time. And I go, that has got to be aliens from outer space. No, it's actually Jace Edwards from Wolfsbane.
There's your answer, peeps. There's your answer.
That's it, man. So very excited about that, for next year. I've managed to clear my Blaze Bailey schedule so we can do some Wolfsbane shows. And, man, we are all very, very excited about it.
Fantastic, mate. And you said that's out June next year, hopefully, Blaze, yeah?
Yeah, we hope so. And, there's all problems with factory production and everything, but it will definitely be out on Spotify and all of the streaming, we think, in June of next year. So you'll be able to get it somewhere.
Yeah, so at least people will be able to get it in their ears, on their matter. And if not a hard copy, they'll be able to hear it anyway. Fantastic stuff. Brilliant.
Makes you go hard. Yeah.
Happy days. Well, good luck with that as well. Can we, if it's all right, could we talk a little bit about Maiden as well?
Yeah.
While I got you in the room. 95 to 98, was it?
I think so.
Yeah, thereabouts.
I think so.
Talk us through how that came about then. How you got wind of the auditions. So, did you know it was yours for the taking before you went in and auditioned, or was it a massive process?
Everybody knew about the auditions because this is one of the biggest bands in the world at the time.
Yeah.
Well, in heavy metal, one of the most important bands in heavy metal. So everybody knew, and because then it was before social media, then everything was in magazines. So Kerrang magazine, they had at that time, those group of journalists that work there now, that worked there then, sorry, a lot of them had the knives out, and they got a sniff of Bruce leaving, and the knives are out, and it's like Maiden of Dinosaurs, they're over, Nirvana's going to take over the world, it's all going to be Soundgarden, Pearl Jam will be the new heroes of all of this. And
yeah, how'd that work out?
yeah, exactly, man, exactly. And that was it. I was lucky because Wolfsbane, we supported Iron Maiden on their last tour of the UK in theatres, which was a kind of farewell, because they said, well, we've done Donington, and 2 years, all the fans have come to us. We're going to do one final tour where we go back to where we started. And we were lucky in Wolfsbane that we got that 33 sold out shows around the UK, I think it was. Absolutely just wonderful. A dream. And then a few years later, my manager at the time said to me, well, I've got to tell you, but this is horrible, but no record company is interested in Wolfsbane, and your career is just about over. What? Because it was
nice one for that.
It was my life. It was for all of us.
Yeah,
Wolfsbane. That's what we lived for it. And he said, if I was you, he said, I think you should try and get an audition with Iron Maiden. And so I did, and I was very lucky because obviously they knew what it was like live.
Yeah, from supporting. Yeah,
I'd given them CDs at the end of the tour, and I was one of 12 people that was lucky enough to get a full audition with Maiden. And what you had to do was learn 10 songs, and they were main songs that were usually in the set.
So, they gave you the songs, did they? This is what you're learning. Yeah,
10 songs. So, because of course it's so good going for one song, because if you can sing Seventh Son, then can you sing The Trooper?
That's it.
And how do you sound on Hallowed Be Thy Name?
Exactly. Yeah. I'd have probably just gone for Running Free myself.
Yeah, exactly. You've got everything. So right up to Fear of the Dark.
Yeah.
And you had those 10 songs, and I did the best I could with it before. And when the audition came, I thought, you know what? It's pointless worrying now. I don't think I'll get it because I sound so different to Bruce, but I will be the singer of Iron Maiden for the next hour.
That's the way. That's the way to look at it.
You know what? That's what I'm going to do. So bollocks. I'm just going to do that. And of course, I knew every drum fill, as any fan does.
Standard.
I knew every drum fill. I knew a lot of the bass licks. And I think a lot of people who'd auditioned had gone to where the normal place where Bruce used to stand and all of that. But that's quite far from the drums. And for me, I really needed to feel those drums. So I said, well, is it okay if I stand here? So I was stood next to Steve and Nico during the audition, and I knew every little lick. And man, I tell you what is unreal is being in a little rehearsal room and hearing Dave Murray play, it's just mind-blowing. Like, that's Dave Murray. It sounds exactly like Dave Murray because it is Dave Murray. Ah, it's unreal, man. Ah, and then you go, that sounds like Steve. It is Steve Murray. And you're like, and man, I'll tell you that now. He plays with like a jazz grip, Nico, at the time, and with his kit. It's obviously it's not his big show kit that he has, but it's still a good kit.
Still impressive.
Well tuned, but you can see him in the rehearsals. That's the big difference. And man, when he hits that snare, you're in a rehearsal room. I've been with different drummers, loads of different drummers over the years, but you are in a rehearsal room with Nico McBrain, and a pigging gun goes off, and you know what was it? It's Nico McBrain just casually hitting the snare.
Just warming up.
Not even raising his arm. Not even raising his arm. Bang! 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 Ba-bang! 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 It's like, what the hell? And then the next thing is boom! Ba-bang! Boom! Ba-boom! Bang! Ba-boom! Bang! You're like, what the hell? It's incredible. And then oh man, it's incredible. And there I was just in Iron Maiden. In Iron Maiden, I'm there. Fucking hell. Ah! Whoa! Oh! It's just, oh man, it's absolutely great. Absolutely great.
What a feeling.
On a razor's edge, balancing on the ledge. On a razor's edge, balancing on the ledge. Oh!
Balancing on a ledge. I had to sing with you for a second.
I just brilliant, man. And I was like, well, I don't think I've got it, but that's it. I said thanks to everybody. I said thank you very much for having me, all of that. And anyway, a week later, I got a call. They said, would you come back for a second audition? We'd like to record you. See what you like in the studio. See, because some singers, they're good live, but not the studio. And the same is, it's going to be the same the other way. Good in the studio, but live.
Mm.
So that was it. And I think 6 of us had that. And I said to Steve Harris, I said, could I get a tape of this after? And he goes, no, but I'm going to send you a tape of the bloke that gets it. Bastard. So, and that was it. And I think it was 2-3 weeks after that, then I got a call to say, come to a meeting. You're going to be the next singer of Iron Maiden. Man, you could have knocked me over with a feather.
I can't begin to imagine, man.
Yeah, unreal. I was like, what? And I thought, well, I could certainly, there's certain area, obviously, where Bruce and I, part of the range that we have, we cross in certain areas, but there's another part, I'm nothing like Bruce. My voice comes from a different place.
Mm.
I find it a different way. Bruce comes from he's magnificent. Bruce, a magnificent singer.
Oh, yeah, goes without saying.
Most important singers in the history of music, not just heavy metal.
Mm.
That's how important Bruce Dickinson is. And in years to come, when things are, that's how it will be. It will be Bruce Dickinson and Ozzy Osbourne and another couple of people. They'll be alongside Springsteen and absolute legends in music, not just in heavy metal. And I thought, I'll never get this. But when you listen to the X Factor and Virtual 11, and then you listen to Fear of the Dark and No Prayer for the Dying, the previous albums, you can see Maiden are going as a band musically. They want to go in this progressive direction,
Mutate.
a natural evolution for the band.
Yeah,
and the and the songwriting, and I think, and Steve said to me much later when we were working on some stuff. He said, I really wanted to work with your voice because I would hear you warming up with Wolfsbane, and it was none of your Wolfsbane. So you warm up with a different thing, and I heard this part of your voice, and I thought I'd really love to use that.
That's interesting, man.
And I think that's an advantage. And so what happened was I started working closely with Steve, obviously producing the album and the songs, the things that he was coming up with, and then what Yannick and I were coming up with, and thing that Dave and I did. Then Steve found a part of my voice, and it's like, if that's my voice, he's found another third of my voice, right, in a place I never used on record before. And he's found this, and that starts coming out, and suddenly I start becoming a bigger singer. Is the only way I can describe it. My voice starts to develop. I find this, it gets stronger, and I start to get then 11 saintly shrouded men, silhouettes stand against the sky, one in front with a cross held high, come to wash my sins away. And that would have been impossible for me, almost impossible before, to find that. And wake alone in the hills with the wind in your face. Feels good to be proud and be free and erase it as part of a clan to live on highlands. That was, so I found, well, he's shown me this other part of my voice.
Pulled it out of you, literally.
That starts to come together, man. And that changed me.
Yeah.
As an artist and a performer and a songwriter, because now it's like having extra strings on your guitar or keys. You've gone from 4 strings to 6 to 8, or and this, I've got all this, and then I started finding different textures that I could use. And then you listen to my Silicon Messiah album, my first solo album after Maiden. And that voice there, the range of the voice, the depth, the expression, so much of that comes from that experience of working with Steve Harris. Obviously, my voice developed in Wolfsbane, the enthusiasm, the ambition, how competitive we were. Our music was our life, and really it still is. Music is life for all of us in Wolfsbane. But then to find this extra part, then as an artist, to be able to go, actually, this little part of my voice will go well with this lyric, to get that emotion, to tell the story, to get my listener to come this way. And then I can go in through the ear, down to the heart. Yes. And that's it. And from that time with Maiden, I mean, we've done incredible tours, man. 70,000 people, 60,000 people, regularly 50,000.
Yeah.
10,000 people a night across Europe, incredible things. And you know what they were saying in the British press at that time? Maiden is dead. They've had it. They're dinosaurs. It's all going to be Nirvana. Right? It's all going to be the Soundgarden. It's all going to be that. Well, let me ask you, you know. So if those won't, you know, be too, I won't say exactly what I mean, but if those idiots,
You can say whatever you want, Bass.
if those idiots and titheads and wankers, right, those cynics, those sarcastic, horrible people were talking that way about what I considered as a fan before Maiden to be one of the most important bands in music, not just metal. They're talking about that. And that's like, I know it's a cliche. I know it is. Heavy metal will never die.
Mm-mm.
Don't you realise? And don't you realise that Maiden and Priest of our time, the most important heavy metal bands, how can they die? Heavy metal won't die. Saxon hasn't died. You know what I mean? It's heavy metal won't die. So that's it. And here we are, years later, so lucky, incredibly fortunate, and totally grateful to have the support of fans who love music, not fashion. And people that when they were writing us off in the British press, the kind of fans that go, well, I'll decide if I like it or not.
Mm.
Who are you?
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, and that, who said? So that's what we had. And, you know, it was glorious and it was horrible. It was challenging. It was joyous. It was tough, man. Tough sometimes because there were places. We played in Seattle.
Wow.
Right? We played in Seattle. It was like a bastard war of ideas and values. All right? We're there in Seattle. There's about 70-something headbangers there. Yes, we're. And then there's a load of people who go, man, come to see these dinosaurs. It's probably the last tour they're ever going to do. And that's what it was like. The audience was in 2 hours. It was like, oh, man. You go at it. Well, I'm such, you know, to be a frontman, and I won't even say good frontman, but to be a frontman, and any band knows this, and any frontman, you've got to have a combination of 2 qualities, courage and stupidity, right? You've got to be so courageous that you'll go on in front of 10 people, 10,000, 70,000 people and go, come on, let's have a go. And you've got to be so stupid to think that they'll do it. and that's how you go on. And in Seattle, I just treated all of those fashionista idiots like, well, you will either get into this with this magnificent music or you will fucking evaporate. And that's it. And we'll be left here with the genuine headbangers.
That's it.
That was an experience. Many years later, I went back to that club and played a small room there with my own band. And I'm going in there, and it was like deja vu, except it's a nightmare. You know, it's like, I've been here before. Hang on, I really have been here before. And it was a bastard nightmare. No! This is where we had to face off, practically face off against bastard Nirvana. Oh, man. Anyway, we come through it. Maiden survived. I've survived. Maiden are making great music. I've made the best album. My fans say, not me, my fans say probably the best album of my career.
And they're the ones who speak volumes, mind, you know?
That's it. And they're the people I trust.
Definitely.
You know, and I was lucky that when I started with the manager that I have now, I mean, this just goes against conventional wisdom. You'd never get away with this in a normal circumstances. I said to my manager, I said, I don't want the album sent to any journalists before my fans have listened to it. If my fans pre-order this album, I want them to listen to it first. I don't care what journalists say. I don't care about that. The only opinion I'm interested in is the person that spent the 15 quid on the album. That's it. Because if they're disappointed, that means something. And if they're pleased, that means something. But I really don't care what someone who gets their albums for free and
some
gets
twat with a pen
and chips all over the place. I just don't care what they say. They have no value to me whatsoever. And he said, okay. And that's what we did. And you would never get away with that. It's about, oh, you've got to send the album to journalists. He goes, no, okay, I understand. Absolutely. And that was it. Everybody that pre-ordered the album got the album before any journalist in the world. And that really meant something to me. And we stuck with that with the next one. And now we do it standard because we don't think. Now fans know that Blaze Bayley, now with the guys I have with me, with a wonderful team, they know what they're going to get. So it really doesn't matter what anybody says about me. You know, they know what it is. And with all the farting about with the pandemic and everything like that, it's difficult to do. But that's it. And I trusted my fans. My fans trusted me. And I've managed to keep going.
And it's all worked out well. The rest is history, so they say,
you know, my fans say this is possibly the best album I've ever done. And I've been doing, I started off with a dream 35 years ago. I know I don't look that old.
I was going to say.
It's impossible. But yeah, I'm one of these people that doesn't age. Yeah, because there's a picture somewhere of me, well, probably on an old album where I look really old instead of young and beautiful. So my fans say that's possibly the best album I've done in all of this time. Well, what a great place to be in, man.
Fantastic place to be in.
Great place. I started with a dream way back in 1983, right? Just hoovering a hotel, cleaning up sick in the toilets of the hotel. And now here I am living my dream.
That's incredible, man.
It's incredible.
It is absolutely incredible.
I got a humble lifestyle. I don't really care about flash cars. My motorbike will do. It gets me where I want to go. It's still good to ride. It's reliable. You know, I don't really need anything else. I haven't got a big flash house or a yacht or nothing like that. I live for my music and people support me as an artist. I'm able to be a professional, full-time professional heavy metal singer.
That's a dream, man.
I mean,
it's a dream.
You know, anyone, and there are thousands. I know there are thousands of people around the world playing in different bands that would love to be able to say that. And that's how lucky I am and how grateful I am to my fans. They've made that a reality for me. It's incredible, man.
Yeah, well, it's a two-way street, man, as well. You've got to put it in as well. And like I said, the proof is in the pudding. So total kudos and respect. You know, you're doing great things. And
thanks, man. Thanks. That's very kind of you.
No, keep it up. Keep it up. You're still got a couple of tour dates at the moment, I see as well, 11th and 12th of next month. You want to talk about those?
What I'll be doing is I booked a day in bed tomorrow, because we had these 4 shows, which we always put together Glasgow, Newcastle, Grimsby, Manchester, very important for us. And we work hand in hand. My team work hand in hand with local promoters that we've worked with over the years. So they're not big venues, but they're places where we have a good working relationship. We booked it. I say we booked it. My team booked it, and they went, right, what we're going to do is do it all on weekends. Normally, we'll do 5, 6 in a row. No, we're going to do this because if someone tests positive, we'll only miss the next weekend.
Ah, that's right. Yeah, that's the way. Tactical booking.
The tour doesn't go down, and we don't know what's. So that's what they did. That's why I was able to ride my motorcycle every time. Nobody went down. Nobody got infected. We were very careful. Fans are very respectful, and all of that. So we got through to Manchester. It was absolutely fantastic. Well, they were all fantastic because the tickets people had held on to for over a year because they'd all got, so you're there thinking, we've all waited over a year for this. We thought we were going to do it before. And now we've just got 2 left. Peterborough on the 10th, and then the jewel in the crown, I suppose, we hope it will be, is Wolverhampton KK's Steel Mill on the 11th, is it?
12th, I think that one is the last one, is it? Oh, no. Is it? No, one's on the 10th, one's on the 11th. That's right. Yeah. My bad.
Yeah, that's it. I'm looking at the poster here.
They're a Friday, Saturday, and yeah,
that's it. And that's it, man. So we got a few new songs in the set. We got some of the old favorites, and we're just hoping for the best. That nobody tests positive before those. And man, that's going to be incredible. Those 2 shows were just every ounce of energy that I've got left is going to go into those 2 shows. And then after that, I'm going to go to bed till Christmas, probably, to recover.
Yeah. Then after Christmas, you're overseas tour, and you've got European tour going on then as well.
Yeah. What's happening? Of course, everything's changing. We don't know.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
So what they're doing is they're booking things that it's very, very likely that no matter what happens, we'll still be able to do it. So that's what they're doing at the moment. We've got quite a few things booked. We've got some really interesting festivals booked in Europe and in the UK. So we'll see what happens.
Brilliant, man. Brilliant.
We're doing so well before this. My thinking is old school. When I went to Birmingham Odeon, Maiden would book 2, 3, 4, 5 nights. They went to Hammersmith and they had the record 8 nights at Hammersmith Odeon. It couldn't be beaten until Riverdance were resident. That's it. That's the old school, man. So what we've been doing is I've been getting more fans, but instead of moving to bigger venues, we've stayed in the venues with the local promoters. Most of the venues independent. I'm completely independent, supported by my fans, and we've stayed. And what we've been able to do is we've sold out, and so the next time we've done 2 nights. And on the last tour, there were 3 separate venues. We did 2 nights at the venue, and for small, I don't care. That's where I want to be, and just great, man. The vibe of it, doing 2 nights in the same place, and just jigging things around slightly. Oh, man, it's just been great. And that's where we were before all of this. So we don't know what the future holds, but we hope we'll be able to get back to that. And I love playing big festivals and being on those big stages. but also my bread and butter and where my music works is in that room. 500 or less is
Nice
really,
intimate gig. Yeah.
that's where I can reach everybody and everybody can feel what's coming off the stage from the guys in the band, the music. That's where it works at about that. So I'm not really interested in getting big. Of course, they think I'm a nutcase, some people. Oh, you got to get big. You'll be playing stadiums. And I'm going, you know, I'm not really interested in headlining a stadium. I've done it with Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
I've done everything, the biggest gigs. I've done it all. And this is where I want to be with my own music, being independent. And there is real magic at some of my shows, man. Real magic. That's how I feel. So that's where I want to be, really.
Yeah, man. Are you likely to come over the bridge at all in the new year?
Well, yes, we are. You know, we're constantly looking at that. I'd love to come back to South Wales, to, you know, Fuel or Merthyr Tydfil.
Yeah, that's where I'm from, Merthyr Tydfil. Yeah.
So, you know, I love it down there, and we haven't had the opportunity. I don't think I've had the opportunity really since we were down there with Wolfsbane in Cardiff, I think.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, so I love it down there.
Well, yeah, make it happen, Blaze. Make it happen.
I'm not in charge of that. I'm actually the reason for my success now is I'm not allowed to have anything to do with booking.
You're bad, do you?
Money or anything like that. When my manager goes, right, yeah, you make your albums, you write your songs, you don't worry about the rest of it, all right? I'll get your interview sorted, all of that, and that's it. And so I'm in a dressing room in Ballymena, and the guy walks in there and he goes, "I've got your money here, Blaze." I go, "No." He goes, "No, for the gig. I've got the money for the gig." I said, "No, I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to have any money. I'm not allowed to touch money to do with the gigs because of an incident in Turkey." So he's like, "No, all right." He says, "Watch out." I said, "You have to give it to the tour manager. Give it to the manager. I'm not allowed to touch money. I'm not allowed to have any responsibility at all." And that's the way that it works best.
And that's the way you like it, right?
You stay away. We'll tell you when you've got to do your sound check. We'll get you. And when you've got to do that, then you can come on. Right? Well, the rest of it, we don't want you anywhere near it. Right? They don't want me to arrive at the venue when I think, in case I start saying, "Oh, could we have the money just there? Could we?" They don't want it, mate. That's like, "We'll do it. You stay away. We'll tell you what to do."
Yeah, you turn up, you perform, you leave.
That's it. And, you know, I think a part of what that has done, all joking aside, is it's given me a focus on my performance and on my voice, and it's freed me of a lot of the stress that drove me to the edge of a breakdown before, you know, and put me in just horrible situations. And my focus is this, right? It's my performance. It's bringing this song to life, and it's connecting with my fans, getting this whole song to connect with my fans and leading the band. And that's it. And really, if I want to do it well, that's enough, man. That's all. That's all, because I'm doing it. For me, this is the World Cup final, right? That's it. And we're against Argentina or Germany or France. It's a World Cup final, and I've got to win, man. I've got to score that goal. I've got to do it. So that's the level of expectation and pressure that I'm putting myself under to go out and make that gig, no matter what happens, the worst gig that I do has to be a good gig. It has to be. It just has to be. And that's the pressure. And it's largely self-imposed, but that's what I learnt in Iron Maiden. Going way back, you know, when those guys go out, it's not like, oh, well, we know all the songs, we'll just... No, man. It doesn't matter if they're playing The Trooper or Running Free or Fear of the Dark or something off the new album. Everything is played with absolute precision, the best that they can possibly do. And that's what I've taken into my music, into my performance. And now, generally, more good days than bad. My depression, sometimes it stops me doing things, but mostly I'm able to keep going with my music. And it's that this gig, I've got to try and make this exceptional for people that have seen me 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 times. This has to mean something. This
Awesome.
must be the winning goal in the World Cup final, to use a football metaphor. And that's it. And sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't. But you know what? I never get a red card.
Good man. Good man.
So that's it.
Stay on the pitch and play your best, man. That's what it's all about, right?
I'm very, very lucky.
Brilliant.
I've incredible support and have that kind of inspiration and motivation that my fans, I just feel they make me feel that it's worth trying, that it's worth the effort, that it's just, you know, over the years, we've sold 5 tickets to a gig. We've sold 30 tickets and gone, bloody hell, that's good, isn't it? We're really moving up now. Sold 60 tickets and gone, wow, man, we're getting somewhere. Then almost every night now it's 200 tickets plus.
Wicked.
And it's, well, that's it. And so, but coming from this place of nothing, I mean, no, and trying to convert the world one fan at a time, and to be in this place now where people come and see me again and again and buy my CDs and shirts, man, and give me the chance to be a singer and songwriter and do what I love. It's incredible. I'm incredibly lucky. And I try and take that out onto the stage and go, right,
this one's yours.
Get this.
Brilliant, man. Brilliant. Blaze, awesome. And you're really gracious with it as well, man. And I totally salute you from the heart, brother. Top man. This, for me, has been absolutely freaking awesome. Thank you so much for coming on and having a natter. Before I let you shoot, are there any shout outs, acknowledgements, plugs, or anything that we haven't chucked in there as of yet?
Well, you know, there's so many people to say thank you to. Obviously, thank you to my incredible fans. Thank you to Steve Harris for being such a friend and mentor to me and helping me to be the singer I am today, guiding me to this place. Thanks to John Coperthwaite, who's helped me along the way and helped me through some very difficult times. Thanks to Selena Waters for believing in me and helping me through difficult times. Thanks to my incredible manager, Mark Appleton, and thanks to my incredible merch lady and website lady, Lynn. Thanks to Marcus in Germany for the website and everything. Thanks to the guys in the band, man. I just got an incredible band of hugely talented people. Martin McNee on the drums. It just a rock, just someone who, I mean, talk about patience. The things I've asked him to do on albums, and he's just gone, okay, give me 15 minutes. And then from the impossible, muddled, confused mind of the idiot singer, it comes to life and it's there on the drums. It's unbelievable. Carl Schramm, wonderful bass player. And obviously Chris Appleton, we work side by side, incredible colleague, incredible friend as well. And this year, we've been so lucky. I've been so lucky because Luke Appleton became available to become part of my touring band, and to be part of the, you know, he's a full-time member of Absolver, and he had other things going on, and he's part now of the Blaze Bayley touring band. So I've got these two immensely talented guitarists, and in a large part, what Luke's role is power guitar, is making all the times when I'm writing and I'm going, that's where the big chord is, that backs up there, that backs up there. In most of my songs, then he does that, and suddenly, man, things are coming to life in a brand new way on stage because of that. And the other thing is, when I do my old Maiden songs, on some of them, there wasn't harmony guitars, it was dual guitar. I put all the harmony guitars in. And so I've got these two men of incredible talent and precision playing the harmony parts that were never
awesome.
Virtual 11. And fans go, it's just,
brilliant, man.
I know this, but why is it new?
Yeah. Your own stamp.
My version of Virus, and when the guys step up and they do, well, no one's heard it before unless you've been to see me before. Starting the album, Maiden never did it live, and there you've got harmony guitars and melody comes live. Oh man, it's incredible. I'm so lucky. So thanks to all of those people for the love and support, and of course, thanks to my fans, to the people that have supported me through good times, bad times, through thick and thin, and have made it possible for me to live my dream of being a heavy metal singer.
Amen to that. Thank you so much, Blaze, for coming on. This has been absolutely fantastic. It's been brilliant, fantastic, man. Thank you so much, gentlemen and a scholar. Ladies and gentlemen, Blaze Bayley on the Cayman Show. Woohoo!